The massive conference hall hummed with tension as representatives from dozens of alien civilizations gathered. Humans, often considered the youngest and least developed species, sat near the edge of the massive circular platform. Captain J. Park, a lean military officer with sharp eyes and a weathered face, carried something that immediately drew curious and mocking glances, an old-fashioned M1 Garand rifle. Around him, holographic displays flickered with advanced weaponry and sleek technological designs. Alien delegates from various star systems whispered and chuckled. The Orion Stellar Consortium's representatives, tall crystalline beings with multiple translucent arms, looked particularly amused. "Another human artifact," muttered Krill, the lead Orion delegate, his voice a low electronic buzz. "They still carry primitive projectile weapons in an era of plasma technology." J. Park said nothing. He simply placed the polished rifle on the conference table, its metal gleaming under the artificial lights. His fingers traced the weapon's familiar curves, a connection between past and present that no alien could understand. The conference was supposed to discuss territorial expansion and technological exchange. But for many alien races, it was another opportunity to showcase their superiority over humans. They saw Earth's representatives as children playing with outdated toys in a sophisticated galactic playground. Delegate Krill approached, his crystalline body shifting colors with each movement. "Captain," he said, "your weapon belongs in a museum, not a serious diplomatic meeting." Park's eyes met Krill's multiple lens-like visual receptors. No emotion, no reaction, just a calm, steady gaze that seemed to hold a secret. The other human representatives looked nervous. Dr. Yoon Jin-ho, the chief scientific advisor, whispered something to a colleague. Their body language suggested uncertainty, perhaps even embarrassment about the old rifle. But J. Park remained completely composed. The conference hall was a marvel of alien engineering. Walls that could shift transparency, floors that could adjust gravity, communication systems that translated hundreds of languages simultaneously. And here sat a human, holding a weapon designed almost 2 centuries ago. More alien delegates began to notice. Murmurs increased. Laughter rippled through the crystalline beings of the Orion Consortium. Some tentacled representatives from a methane-breathing civilization pointed multiple appendages at the rifle, their communication systems translating to sounds of mockery. "Humans never cease to amaze us," Krill announced, loud enough for everyone to hear, bringing an archaeological artifact to a serious interstellar conference. What possible purpose could this serve? Dr. Yoon shifted uncomfortably in his seat. The other human delegates looked down, avoiding eye contact. But Captain Park, he remained absolutely still, one hand resting lightly on the rifle's wooden stock. The conference hall's ambient temperature seemed to drop. Something about Park's silence was different. It wasn't defeat or embarrassment. It was something else. Krill continued his mockery, his crystalline body now pulsing with colors that suggested pure amusement. "A projectile weapon. Against our quantum shields. Against our plasma technology. This is why humans are considered the least advanced species in the galactic community." More laughter erupted. Alien delegates from various star systems joined in, their different languages and communication methods blending into a symphony of ridicule. But Captain J. Park just smiled. A small, almost imperceptible smile that suggested something profound was about to happen. The conference hall continued to buzz with alien chatter and mockery. Holographic displays continued to show advanced weaponry. Technological superiority seemed absolute. No one noticed the slight adjustments Park was making to the rifle. No one saw the way his fingers moved with precision, with a purpose that went beyond simple nostalgia. Something was coming. Something unexpected. And when it arrived, everything would change. As the laughter died down, the conference hall shifted its focus to the technological displays. Massive holographic projections emerged, showcasing the most advanced weaponry in the known galaxy. The Orion Stellar Consortium took center stage, demonstrating technologies that seemed like magic to less developed species. Krill moved to a central platform, his crystalline body now projecting intricate schematics. Energy shields materialized in the air, shimmering barriers that could theoretically stop anything from a simple bullet to a concentrated antimatter blast. Plasma cannons rotated slowly, their barrel designs so complex they looked more like living organisms than weapons. "Observe true technological superiority," Krill announced, his voice cutting through the hall's ambient noise. Dr. Yoon Jin-ho watched carefully. He understood something the other aliens didn't. The human rifle wasn't just a piece of old metal. It represented something deeper: human adaptability. The holographic displays showed layer after layer of defensive technology, quantum disruption fields that could dissolve incoming projectiles at the molecular level, adaptive energy shields that could reconfigure themselves milliseconds before an attack, weapons that could predict and neutralize threats before they even materialized. Captain J. Park remained silent, his eyes moving across the displays with calculated interest. The M1 Garen sat beside him, looking almost laughably simple compared to the alien technologies. The Orion delegates continued their demonstration. They showed how their shields could withstand multiple simultaneous attacks. Plasma streams, energy pulses, and quantum disruption waves crashed against invisible barriers. Nothing penetrated. Nothing even came close. "Humans have been invited here as a courtesy," Krill explained to the assembled delegates. "But technological gaps cannot be bridged by wishful thinking." More alien races nodded in agreement. The Methane Brothers, the silicon-based life forms, the energy beings from the outer spiral arm. They all saw humans as primitive, barely worthy of galactic recognition. Dr. Yoon noticed something in Captain Park's expression: a slight smile, a hint of something brewing beneath the surface. The technological showcase continued. Each alien race tried to outdo the previous demonstration. Weapons that could destroy entire planetary systems, shields that could protect entire star clusters. Technologies so advanced they seemed to defy the basic laws of physics. And through it all, the simple M1 Garen sat quietly, a weapon from Earth's past, a reminder of human history. "Our technologies," Krill proclaimed, "represent millennia of advancement. Humans have been space-capable for mere decades. The difference is substantial." No one disagreed. The technological gap seemed insurmountable. Humans were like children playing with stones while other races wielded lightning. Dr. Yoon leaned closer to Captain Park. "Are you ready?" he whispered. Park's response was a nearly imperceptible nod. The conference hall continued its technological parade. More demonstrations, more displays of overwhelming power. The message was clear: humans were technologically irrelevant. But something was brewing. A tension that no holographic display could capture. A potential that went beyond simple technological measurements. The M1 Garand waited. Quiet. Patient. A weapon that had seen human history. A tool that represented something more than just technology. Krill's presentation reached its climax. The most advanced shield in the galaxy materialized. A defense system that could theoretically stop anything. Anything, Krill emphasized, can be neutralized. Captain J. Park picked up the rifle, and everything was about to change. The hall fell silent, not from planned demonstration, but from something else. A feeling, an anticipation. Something was coming. The conference hall held its breath. Captain J. Park stood slowly, the M1 Garand in his hands feeling both heavy and light. Krill's crystalline body pulsed with colors of pure confidence, believing no projectile weapon could breach their most advanced shield. Dr. Yoon prepared a small remote device, his fingers moving with precise calculation. The shield generator stood at the center of the hall, a massive construct of gleaming metal and pulsing energy fields that seemed to breathe with technological perfection. "A demonstration of human capability," Park announced, his voice calm and clear. The alien delegates leaned forward. Some laughed. Some looked curious. Most looked bored. Krill's tentacle-like appendages waved dismissively. "Proceed," he said, almost mockingly. Park loaded the rifle. The sound of the metal chamber clicking seemed impossibly loud in the massive hall. Old-fashioned brass cartridge sliding into place, a mechanism designed almost 2 centuries ago. Dr. Yoon activated a small targeting system. Microscopic adjustments began happening inside the rifle, modifications invisible to the naked eye. Nano-engineered components started aligning. The shield generator hummed. Multiple layers of quantum protection flickered, each layer theoretically capable of stopping anything from a simple bullet to a concentrated antimatter blast. "Watch," Park said simply. 1 breath, 2 breaths. The rifle raised. Perfect alignment. Absolute stillness. Then a single shot. The sound was different from what anyone expected. Not a simple bang. Something more complex. A resonance that seemed to carry information beyond simple sound. The shield didn't just break. It dissolved. A perfect circular hole appeared. Clean. Precise. Impossible. Absolute silence filled the conference hall. Krill's crystalline body suddenly looked less confident. The multiple lens-like visual receptors focused and refocused, trying to understand what had just happened. Dr. Yoon allowed himself a small smile. The shield, a technology representing millennia of advancement, had been neutralized by a weapon design from human history. 1 single shot. No massive energy expenditure. No complex quantum manipulation. Just precision. Just understanding. Alien delegates started whispering. The methane breathers shifted uncomfortably. The silicon-based life forms began rapid communication exchanges. Park lowered the rifle. Calm. Collected. "Any questions?" he asked. The technological demonstration had changed everything. In one moment, humans went from being considered the least advanced species to something entirely different. Not through complex technology, but through simple, elegant understanding. The M1 Garen sat quietly, having just rewritten galactic expectations. Krill's voice finally broke the silence. "Impossible," he whispered. But everyone knew. Nothing was impossible anymore. Especially not for humans. The conference hall would never be the same again. Dr. Yoon, Jin-Ho stepped forward, the conference hall still buzzing with shock from the previous demonstration. His hands carried a small holographic projector, which flickered to life with complex molecular diagrams and technical schematics. "The weapon you witnessed," he began, addressing the stunned alien delegates, "is not simply an old rifle. It is a testament to human engineering." The hologram showed microscopic views of the rifle's modified ammunition. Tiny molecular structures danced and shifted, revealing intricate design layers invisible to standard scanning technologies. Krill, still recovering from the shield breach, demanded explanations. His crystalline body pulsed with confusion and anger. Dr. Yoon explained how human scientists had reimagined an old weapon through nanoscale engineering. The tungsten core projectile contained adaptive molecular structures that could dynamically change their resonance frequency. This meant the bullet could literally modify itself milliseconds before impact, allowing it to penetrate even the most advanced energy barriers. "We didn't create a new weapon," Yoon said. "We transformed an existing one." The alien delegates leaned closer. The holographic display showed how traditional metalworking combined with quantum-level engineering had created something unprecedented. Each bullet was essentially a tiny intelligent system capable of real-time adaptation. Captain Park stood silently, the M1 Garen now looking less like a museum piece and more like a revolutionary instrument. The methane-breathing aliens began rapid communication exchanges. Silicon-based life forms ran complex computational analyses. Every species present realized something fundamental had changed. Humans were not technologically inferior. They were technologically unpredictable. Dr. Yoon continued his presentation. He showed how they had studied ancient weapon designs, understanding their core mechanical principles, and then applied modern scientific knowledge. The rifle wasn't just upgraded. It was completely reimagined. "We don't discard our history," Yoon explained. "We learn from it." The hologram showed multiple test scenarios. The modified M1 Garand projectile could adjust its molecular structure faster than any known energy shield could recalibrate. It wasn't about raw power. It was about intelligent, adaptive design. Krill's multiple visual receptors flickered rapidly, processing the information. The Orion Stellar Consortium's technological superiority had been challenged in the most unexpected way. Quantum physicists among the alien delegates began intense discussions. How could such a simple mechanism contain such complex adaptive capabilities? Dr. Yoon smiled. The answer was simple: human creativity. The presentation revealed layers of engineering that went beyond standard technological development. Each modification told a story of understanding, of seeing potential where others saw only obsolescence. "We don't just build technology," Yoon said. "We reimagine it." The conference hall had transformed. What began as a moment of mockery had become a lesson in technological philosophy. Humans were not playing catch-up. They were rewriting the rules. Captain Park's M1 Garand sat as silent proof, a weapon that represented not just military history, but human potential. Alien delegates started requesting detailed technical reports. Research exchanges were proposed. The entire dynamic of the conference had shifted in moments. Dr. Yoon knew this was more than a technological demonstration. It was a statement about human innovation. They didn't need the most advanced technology. They needed understanding, creativity, the ability to see potential where others saw limitations. The rifle had done more than breach a shield. It had opened minds. And in the vast, complex universe of interstellar politics, that was the most powerful weapon of all. The conference hall became a storm of whispers and intense discussions. What had begun as a moment of mockery had transformed into a diplomatic turning point. Captain J. Park stood quietly, the M1 Garand now symbolizing something far beyond a simple weapon. Krill, the lead Orion delegate, approached the human representatives. His crystalline body no longer pulsed with mockery, but with a mix of respect and cautious curiosity. "Explain," he demanded, but the edge of arrogance had disappeared from his voice. Dr. Yoon Jin-ho stepped forward. The technological demonstration had changed everything. Alien races that moments ago considered humans irrelevant now looked with genuine interest. The galactic territorial expansion discussions, which had initially seemed like a formality where humans would be pushed aside, now took on a completely different tone. The methane-breathing delegates huddled in intense communication. Silicon-based life forms ran rapid computational analyses. "We propose a new approach," Captain Park said simply. The room fell silent. Krill's multiple visual receptors focused intently. The Orion Stellar Consortium's leadership realized they had gravely underestimated human potential. One rifle, one precise shot, an entire technological paradigm shattered. Diplomatic representatives from various star systems began requesting detailed technical exchanges. Research proposals flew across holographic communication channels. Humans were no longer seen as the youngest, least developed species. They were now the most unpredictable. Dr. Yoon explained how human innovation worked, not through massive technological leaps, but through creative reimagining, taking old concepts and transforming them with new understanding. The M1 Garand sat on the conference table, a silent testament to human potential. Territorial expansion discussions changed completely. Instead of dictating terms, alien races now sought collaboration. Humans had demonstrated something far more valuable than advanced technology: adaptive thinking. "We want to understand," one methane-breathing delegate communicated, "not conquer." Captain Park allowed himself a small smile. The rifle had done more than breach a shield. It had opened minds. Krill approached Park directly. The previous mockery was gone, replaced by something closer to respect. "Your weapon," Krill said, "is not just a weapon. It is a message." The conference hall buzzed with new energy. Research proposals, collaborative mission discussions, technology exchanges. Humans were no longer at the bottom of the galactic hierarchy. Dr. Yoon knew this moment was about more than technology. It was about perspective, about seeing potential where others saw only limitations. The Orion Stellar Consortium's leadership huddled in intense discussion. Their entire approach to human interaction needed recalibration. One rifle had changed everything. As the diplomatic discussions continued, Captain Park looked at the M1 Garand, an old weapon, a piece of human history, now a symbol of something much larger. Alien delegates no longer saw humans as children. They saw them as unexpected, unpredictable, potentially dangerous, the most important quality in galactic politics. Dr. Hume watched the discussions unfold. Humans had not conquered through massive technology. They had transformed the conversation through intelligent, creative thinking. The rifle sat quietly, a reminder that true power wasn't about the most advanced weapon. It was about understanding, about seeing potential where others saw only the surface. Krill's final statement captured the moment perfectly. Humans, he said, are not what we thought. And in that moment, everything changed.